Good morning, all, and welcome to another edition of Saturday Morning Coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training. As always, I am super excited to be here. I look forward to this every Saturday morning. I hope you guys look forward to it as well. And if this is the first time you're watching me, welcome. And a quick introduction. My name is Leon. I'm the head trainer here at Back to Basics Dog Training. Good morning, Nancy. And as always, if you're watching now or on the replay, like Nancy just did, give me a shout out. Let me know you're watching. If you're new here, let me know where you're watching from. That's always exciting to find out, how far outreach this goes and things like that. So, and you can do that when you're watching on the replay later on. So that's cool too. And even on the replay, you guys can always ask questions or whatever. But again, the purpose of this is so if you have any dog training questions or concerns, you can ask me. And this is a free service that I offer. Good morning, Michelle and Athena. Hope all is well up in New York. And like I said, guys, give me a shout out. And since I'm doing something new here, maybe you guys can help me out. I'm streaming on multiple platforms. I'm doing this on my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, as well as a couple of other pages that I'm part of. Remember Me Rescue and Foster Us or something like that, Facebook pages. So let me know which page you're watching from too. So I know how this thing's working for you, for me and for you guys. But I'm going to jump right into it until I start seeing some questions pop up. This week's topic is going to be based on my Tuesday. I did a show Tuesday evening, my talk show, my Q&A, not a Q&A, it's a talk show where I interview people from dog training groups, rescue groups. It could be a horse rescue. It could be whatever. I'm trying to line up people as we do it. Tuesday night, I don't know who was watching. Thank you for letting me know, Nancy. I appreciate that. Tuesday night, I interviewed one of my customers from Long Island who we talked about her dog, Stark, and she's been on this platform with us on Saturdays. We've talked about Stark. The feedback I got was phenomenal. So if anybody else wants to join on my every other Tuesday night show and discuss some of the training techniques you've learned from me, be it I was one-on-one personal session with you, or I did you learn from here. That's fine. We can always do that interview. Great show. Thank you very much, Michelle. I really appreciate that. I hope it was insightful. I know Stark and Athena have a lot in common. Good. I love it. We're starting off right with a question. Good morning, Susan. Thank you for joining us. Good morning. Can you please help me with my leash pulling? My dog is abnormally hyper and strong. I'm having the worst time trying to get her to walk on a leash. Absolutely. That is a key subject for me, Susan. It's a great question. Thank you for starting off the questions. Will I be able to rewatch this? Have to drive somewhere and really interested. Stacy, yeah, I know you got to get going. So Susan, I'll jump back to your question in a second. Stacy, if you have to get going, go. You can always go back to my Facebook page later on today, later on tomorrow, whenever, and catch it on the replay. And if you have any comments or any questions, by all means, put them in there. I do look at that periodically. You can also go to my YouTube channel. This will be posted sometime later today on my YouTube channel. And watch it there and ask questions there as well, or any of the other groups. Like I said, Remember Me Rescue, and I don't remember the name of the other one. But if you're on my Facebook page, it'll definitely be posted as soon as pretty much I end it today. It's up and ready to be watched. YouTube takes a little longer. They got to go through. Good morning, Rich. We were just talking about the interview. Thank you very much for taking the time to sit with me Tuesday night. The feedback is so positive on it. I got questions afterwards. People seeing it. It was a well-received thing. So thank you to you and Donna and Alex, and of course Stark for helping us out with that. And again, if anybody else wants to join, maybe we can do multiple. I can have up to 5 guests, so we can do a lot of different things with. But let's get back to Sue's question, leash pulling. So are you new to this platform that I'm offering? I mean, I just more for curiosity, because what I'm going to suggest to you is, one, find my my YouTube channel. It's Back to Basics Dog Training. If you search Back to Basics, look for the logo. You'll find my page. Make sure you subscribe to it. In there, I have a playlist called How to Leash Train My Dog, or Your Dog, or something to that effect. How to Leash Train a Dog. And it's something I did to help my fellow dog lovers. And what basically it is it's the mastering the walk back to basic style is what it's really called. And I broke the walk down to 5 specific episodes. And what I tell everybody to do, and Rich and Donna, if you guys are watching, we went through that in our private sessions and you guys watched the videos. It's really designed that master episode 1 before you go to episode 2, before you go to episode 3, so on and so forth. But basically, Sue, is what I tell people. 99% of the dogs that I work with that are hard walkers, overexcited, pullers, see everything. They got to go, crazy trying to find whatever it is, another dog, a person, or whatever. It's due to overexcitement, and that's because we start the walk excited. So what do I mean by that? As humans, we make a couple crucial mistakes in our process of helping our dogs. One, you want to go for a walk, and the dog gets all excited, and then we're trying to put the leash on them and do all this garbage. Well, we started the walk off excited, so how do we expect our dog to be calm? We also make that same mistake with car rides too, by the way, guys. We get the dog all excited to get in the car, and then we can't stand them when they're in the car because they're bouncing off the walls. As Rich said, threshold management is so important to the walk. And that's episode 2. But you have to start the walk off calm, Sue. And what I mean by that, if your dog gets excited when he sees that leash or she sees that leash coming out, you said it's a her, so it's a her. When she sees the leash come out, and she gets excited, and you put that leash on her when she's excited, you're rewarding her excitement. You can't do that. Good morning, Michelle. Michelle, do me a favor. I know I'm on the Remember Me Rescue page. What's the other page that I'm admin on? The Forster one. What's the name of it? I'm just curious. I keep forgetting it. If you put the leash on her when she's excited, you're rewarding that excitement, and theoretically, you're starting off that walk before you even get out the house excited. And you don't want that, because an excited dog's hard to walk, and I don't care if it's a teacup Yorkie. Even though I'm finding out there's no such thing as a teacup Yorkie, but okay, you all know what I'm talking about. So you never want to start the walk off excited at that point. No process from the time you put the leash on your dog till you get to the front door should there be excitement in that walk to the front door. Because if there is it's too hard to control it outside where there's a lot more stimulus for the dog. So you really want to work on that. And as Rich said, threshold management is super, super important. And that's episode 2, that way, episode 2. And it is so important to the success of walking a dog and to save a life of a dog, threshold management. And what I mean by that is threshold management is all about front door open doesn't mean out. And that front door area, the gate area, wherever you're going to the outside world has to represent calm. Reason being is we don't ever want a dog, one, to think he can get out of the house without permission. We save its life because they get out, they bolt into the street. I don't care if you live in a residential street in any of the 50 states or probably around the world. Nobody drives 30 miles an hour in a residential area anymore. You drive 30 miles an hour, people get mad at you. So, they're not going to have time to stop if your dog bolts out. So let's teach our dogs. The front door open doesn't mean out unless invited. And that's what episode 2 is all about. And it's also about teaching them. You walk out the door, you invite them out, and they have to walk out calmly. Not like a bull in a china shop. They have to walk out like ladies and gentlemen, I say. And I hope this makes sense, Sue. In the comments, if you need me to clarify anything, of course, let me know. If you don't have them walk out, great, they sat, they waited for you to invite them out, and then you invite them out and they bolt out at 700 miles an hour, their mind is somewhere else. And it's really important. I have told people in my private training sessions, I've done seminars on mastering the walk. If you have an hour dedicated to your walk, and Rich can verify this because I know we did this with Stark. If you have an hour dedicated to your walk and it takes you 45 minutes to get them to go out through that front door the correct way, or the gate or whatever, that threshold, your walk is 15 minutes. It is so important to the structure of the walk to walk through that threshold calmly. Cindy says, "Good morning." They see me put on my sneakers and they get excited because we've associated that um, that process of putting on the sneakers is excitement. You got to take that away. You got to put on your sneakers and not go anywhere. But so really watch my videos. It will help you, but it's going to take time. People tell me all the time, my dog never calms down. Rich, pipe in here. Stark was a happy-go-lucky goofball with a ball of energy, but we, over time and patience and consistency, taught him these are the new rules. They don't need Valium. They don't need doggy downers. Most of them, they don't. We have to start learning to reward their calm. And what do I mean by that? We tend to reward excitement. We come home from work or going to the grocery store. Hell, we can go to the mailbox. We come back in, the dogs are excited. Look, they missed us, and we pet them, and they're all excited, and we're petting. You're rewarding that state of mind. Will I be able to rewatch this? Absolutely. Yes, so you can rewatch this at any time. It'll be on my Facebook page. I don't know. I see you're from Facebook. I don't know which Facebook page you're coming from, but it'll be on replay on any of the Facebook platforms that I'm streaming on right now, as well as my YouTube channel later, because YouTube takes longer to do this. And when I'm done with this, what I'll do on the Facebook, I don't know if I can do it on the YouTube, but I'll try. I will put a link to my Master How to Leash Train Your Dog playlist in the comments below this, so you can always just jump right to it. And if you do watch, please subscribe to my channel. I need some subscribers. It would be great help to me. But it's a very informative playlist. People that have watched it, please put your comments in. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you need me to tweak it in any way. But we as humans have to stop rewarding the excitement of a dog. And that goes to every stage of their lives, from puppyhood to adulthood. Especially as puppies, we make a mistake. We love the excitement. They're happy to see us. They love us. Yay, 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 yay. But then as they get bigger, we don't like it. Thank you, Sue. I really appreciate it. And you can ask any of your questions on any of the episodes on my YouTube channel or via Facebook, private message me, shoot me a text. You can always reach out to me. I'll put my phone number up here. I think I have it on here. Yes, I do. This is the phone number. You guys can always reach out and text me directly. And that works. And this is what Rich is saying. After some time and patience with him, he just sits by the open door while I get my coffee, and I invite him outside to hang out with me. And that's in their backyard. I tell people all the time that the backyard doesn't represent a playground. It's your yard. You're nice enough to let your dog use it. They have to respect it. Same way you would expect me to come to your home and respect your backyard, and not trash the place. So again, it all comes back to the same thing I preach week after week. Any of my regular followers on here know I preach about rewarding calm. And guys, if we don't reward the calm, we create the dogs to get in trouble. Most of the dogs, in my experience, that are dumped at shelters, dumped on the street, are overly excited dogs that people just don't know how to control. But the people are the ones that created that nonsense by allowing the dogs to get excited and not teaching them calm. And I use kids. Guys, we teach our kids all the time inside voices. And what I mean by that is when they're out in the yard playing, they can scream and do whatever the hell they want within reason. But when they come in, hey, it's a different world. We're teaching them how to exist in different types of environments. And we have to do that with our dogs too. When they get excited on their own, we create an issue. I'm also going to put on here my email address that you guys can always email me at. So just bear with me while I type here. Basics dog training. I should have this all set up in advance, but I'm not that smart. So I'm going to put that up there for you guys so this way you can always email me as well. Email, texting are always the best, or private message through Facebook. And I spelled training wrong. That's not good. Boy, does modern technology and me don't get along all the time. Basics dog training. There we go. Didn't fix it. So anyway, so by rewarding the excitement, which we tend to do too often, it's not fixing it. I'm just going to redo it. Back to basics. And there we go. If we tend to reward the excitement, and Rich and Donna and all you guys, if you're still watching, understand more now what I mean by reward the calm. Stark was an overly excited dog. Can't get you on Facebook. Jane, you keep saying that, but you're here and I see you on Facebook. You're a part of it. I don't know what you mean by can't see me on Facebook, can't get me on Facebook. I'm going to put a little note on my phone to give you a call and we'll get this worked out. I know we had worked together not too long ago, but I will call you after this is over because you're on my Facebook, so you're seeing me. I'm not sure what that means, but we'll figure it out together. So by rewarding the excitement, you're creating the excitement. By teaching the dog to be calm, the dog learns to be calm, but you have to stay. One of the main conversations we had Tuesday night with Rich and Donna was the consistency needed to do this. By staying consistent day in, day out, not changing. Just because you're having a bad freaking day, your dog don't give a crap. So by staying consistent with what you're doing, the dogs learn. Like Donna and Rich learned, we talked about threshold management earlier, that threshold management doesn't mean necessarily the doors. The door going to the front, the door going to the back, the door leading from the house to the garage, the gate leading to the outside world in the yard. We use threshold management with Stark, and they've learning it's any place we need to stop the process to teach a different way of doing it. So in their house, Stark going into the kitchen while they were preparing food or whatever. So we use the counter as a threshold. The threshold of him staying in the den while they're eating dinner, that was a threshold. The thing where the carpet meets the floors in the dining room, that was a threshold. Threshold management is crucial, but it's consistency with what we do. So if we're working the threshold management at the front door and we're working on the calmness of the dog getting out through the front door threshold, it's got to be 100 times, 1,000 times, 50, whatever it takes for your dog to understand every single time they walk out that door, they have to walk out like ladies and gentlemen. If you don't stay consistent, how the hell do you expect them to stay consistent? And if you don't stay consistent with your energy, because as everybody knows, again, whoever's followed me knows I talk about this, the most important form of communication between us and our dogs is our energy. It's not the words we're using. So if your energy isn't consistent, all we're doing is confusing the dog. And I know, and Rich and Don, I know I'm picking on you guys a lot today, but I think we have that relationship where I can say that was my hardest part with the training with Stark, is getting the family unit to understand the energy part of what we're doing, not the verbal. And keeping to that no anger, no frustration, no nonsense theory of mine. But the energy, that calm energy, if you put out calm energy, your dog is going to respond in such. If you put out frustrated energy, your dog's going to respond as such. Some dogs, if you put out that anger energy, they respond as such. Constantly is work. Yep, but the rewards are amazing. So well said, Rich. Thank you for putting it in those words. We talked about this on Tuesday evening. Anything worth having, you have to work for. So if you want to have that happy, balanced dog, and that's what this is about, guys. You want to have that happy, balanced dog, you have to work for it, and you have to help guide them to achieve that goal. It's not going to happen overnight. Some dogs, yes, it happens a lot quicker. And again, I'm going to use Stark as the example. Stark got it. From the day Stark met me Stark knew the rules that I was setting without me saying a word to him. Because my energy is what was communicating to him. I was talking to Rich and Don, or I wasn't talking to Stark. Stark just knew, oh, wait, this guy's energy is calming, but it's very assertive. He's my new boss. I better follow what he says. And it wasn't that he followed me out of fear. It wasn't that he followed me out of anything. He followed me because he appreciated it. I worked with a customer here in Fort Mill last Saturday after my live. Beautiful, beautiful. They had a yellow lab and a chocolate lab. I'm a lab lab lover, he tried to say. And so that to me is the ultimate job. And the chocolate lab was a typical. Tammy, yes, I do come to people's homes, depending on where you live. Right now, so just shoot me a comment, let me know where you live. I am located right now in South Carolina, but I will be coming up to New York at the end of September for probably 2 weeks. I'm just trying to finalize some dates here, and I'll be doing some training, follow up with my customer, my pack, and follow up and help other people that need my help. So anywhere from pretty much South Carolina to New York in September, I will be doing training like the last time you're in farming. I mean, I can work something out with you when I get back, when I get up to New York again. I can happily put you on my schedule, or we can always do a Zoom training. People that have had me for Zoom, did my Zoom training, because it's more about dog psychology than me physically doing. I don't need your dog to listen to me. I need your dog to listen to you. So you need to understand how your dog is communicating to you. And that's what I provide for you. So we could do something on Zoom. You can always reach out to me, let me know. Or when I plan my trip up to New York, if you're interested in it, private message me, let me know the information. And once I set up my route, when I'm up in New York, I will definitely get there. But if you have any friends or family, whoever's watching up and down from, like I said, from South Carolina up to New York, the last trip I made, I had jobs in Pennsylvania and Virginia, so I hit those on the way home because of this platform. So I was able to help people outside of my normal area, and I'm willing to do that again. It was a lot of fun for me. It was a new experience for me, and I kind of really, really enjoyed it. But Nancy says, the hand single stop sign works so beautifully with baby, as long as I'm in front of her and she sees the cat or a dog or a person before she does. But if I'm behind her, she doesn't see the object. She sees the object for craziness before I do. It doesn't work. Once she gets crazy, she doesn't even seem to see the stop sign. Absolutely, she won't. Any suggestions? Want to comment that on the importance of consistency. I'm going to put this thing up there, guys, so you guys can read it along with me. It doesn't show me the whole thing, so I guess I have to read it. Sorry, guys. I have been highly consistent with baby since I started watching you, but my husband is totally inconsistent. She listens to me and totally ignores him. Consistency is so important. Absolutely. Beautifully said, Nancy. As far as if you don't see, she sees the dog or the person first and she gets into that heightened state, it is much, much harder to correct her. She's not going to pay attention to your hand signals. She's not going to pay attention to your words. And that's when you have, if she's on a leash, make that leash correction at a higher level of intensity than she is with your firm. Not this time stop. Now it's no, because she already broke protocol. So you have to make a harder leash correction. Remember, if the dog's excitement level is at a 5, you need to correct at a 6. Otherwise, they're not going to feel it. And certain dogs, most dogs, when they get into that heightened state, this is what they see, guys. You can wave food in front of their face. They're not going to give a rat's patootie. They're just going to focus on what it is. So the object of the pop of the leash is not to hurt them or scare them or throw them into a tree. It's to unlock the brain. So something, what the hell? And now I have your attention. Cut it out. The other thing that I found that's working very well for certain dogs, not all dogs, is a product, and you can purchase it on Amazon, called Doggy Don't. It sounds like a taser sound, guys. Really loud, but it's loud enough for the dog to hear it at a high level. So you would time it with when you push that little button with a no, and a lot of times it does unlock the dog's brain, because that's what it is. When baby gets into that heightened state, her brain is locked. So the object of the pop at a leash or whatever is to unlock the brain. The sound of that doggy don't unlocks the brain. Me snapping my fingers unlocks the brain, clapping my hands, something to be at a higher level of intensity than what her energy is at that given time. I hope that makes sense, because that's the hardest part for humans, especially if you're dealing with the smaller dogs, because we're afraid to overcorrect a smaller dog. And here's what I tell you. If I work with a Yorkie and I have to make a level 3 correction on a Yorkie, my level 3 correction on a Yorkie is different than my level 3 correction on a Mastiff. Because the more muscle around their neck or the more whatever, they don't feel it. So of course my leash correction has to be a little bit higher. And the hardest thing is, how do you calm them down? Your energy is what it's going to take, Cindy, to calm them down. If you're not calm, they can't get it. A lot of times when I work with really, really hyper dogs, and Stark's an example, the lab I worked with the other day is an example, very high energy lab, chocolate lab, which a lot of chocolate labs are. Right away, I keep them on a leash a lot. So the leash is my connection to them. I try popping the leash and clapping and snapping, and it doesn't get her attention, but I'll try a loud noisemaker. Yeah. Canned air, peck corrector. It's a loud thing. Don't use a freaking foghorn. Those things will scare the neighborhood. But the doggy don't seems to work really good. You can, if you're in a position to do it, and it's something I'm hesitant to talk about, but I'm going to say it out there, is a lot of times if I can't do something with a leash correction, and depending on the physical size of the dog, and it doesn't matter if it's small or big, but you just got to watch your intensity. Okay, I'll get to that in a second, Cindy. I do what they call a heel tap in the dog's the dog's hip area. I make a touch in that area. They're not used to that feeling, so it kind of catches them off guard. It's almost like I say, if I hit you in the tickle spot, it catches you off guard. That hip area is a sensitive area, so you got to be careful of the amount of pressure you would use, but you can do a touch there, and you can use your hand. You can just do a touch, or you can use your heel if you're in a position to do it. But you want to time it where, if this is the touch, no, or stop, or whatever word you're using at that point, because that's an unusual feeling to them, and but you don't want to overdo it. It's a lighter touch than you don't need a heavy touch. It's a light touch, and it's such a weird feeling because it's not something that happens all the time, and don't overuse it, because then you desensitize them to it. But if it's in the case where they're heightened, I've done that with a bunch of dogs. I did it with a Rottweiler not too long ago. Caught it totally off guard, and it was a very leash reactive dog. Hi, Donna. You showed us that with Stark. Yeah, that touch. It's a touch, guys. It's not kicking the dog. It's not punching the dog. It's not slapping the dog. It's a touch. It's just a way to unlock the brain. It's so, so important to unlock their brains when they're in that heightened state. It's hard getting there, but the more you stay consistent, the more you do this with a calm energy, no matter what they do, you have to stay calm, and you can't fool a dog with your energy. They get it. You may have to do it 5 times, or you may have to do it 5,000 times, depending on the dog. So even just walking to open the back door, they go crazy to go outside, because at one point in their life, Cindy, somebody made that an excitable thing. So again, how would I do that? Yeah, he was very excitable in the beginning. So what you need to do is start that process. Guys, I'm telling you, watch episode 2 of How to Leash Train Your Dog, because I talk about threshold. You should use the threshold management in their backyard to get them out to the backyard. Cindy, it sounds like you have multiple dogs, because you said they go crazy. And then they get outside and they're in this heightened state. That can be a fight waiting to happen, because overexcitement turns to aggression, and that will cause a fight. So if you take the time, even if you have to put them on leashes and bring them to the back door, and start setting the process differently, and saying that, you know what, This no longer represents excitement. You have to do that. You have 6 rescues. God bless. You have to start setting that any threshold, guys. Any place, especially leading to the outside world, and the backyard is an outside world. That all should represent calm. You have 6 dogs there. And if they get outside and they're already jacked up, they're at a level 5 of excitement before they even get out the door. Then they get outside and they're going to smash into each other. They're going to play with each other. They're going to do this. And somebody's going to play too rough. And like humans, if you play too rough, it becomes a fight. It's a disaster. It's a horrible thing. It's not even a fight, really, but it's just a lot of noise. But nobody wants it. So take the time. And I hate doing this to you, Cindy, but because it'll be you. But if you have to do it one dog at a time, do one dog at a time. It's worth it. But represent that backyard is now yours. You're taking your yard back, and these are the rules in my yard, and that's calm. Because it's hard, guys. It really is. Donna and Rich keep saying it. They keep putting it up here. I agree. Threshold management is one of the most important lessons. I still say that I mentioned it during the interview on Tuesday. It transfers to control in other areas, right? And it does, and I'm a firm believer in that. And nothing, if you're angry or you're frustrated, will ever work. So you, Cindy, in this case, Cindy, need to start representing that back door as that's a calm zone. The backyard as a calm zone. Everything should represent calm. Guys, it's so much easier. I'm telling you, if you do this and you stay consistent day in, day out, every single time, you're going to see there's going to be a change. It's hard when you have 6 dogs. That's why I said you may have to do it one dog at a time. And if you have to use your leash to bring them out into the backyard, like ladies and gentlemen, that's what you do because you're setting up a new way of doing things. But what you'll get in the reward is you're not going to get bowled over when you walk to the back door to let them out. They're not going to smash into the back of your knees when you go into the back door to let them out because you're not going to allow it anymore. So it's real important, but you have to start the process somewhere. So I always say, if you have multiple dogs, because it's very hard to work with 6 dogs at one time, unless you got 5 people to help you, you have to put the other dogs away, work with one dog at a time, set a precedent. Good, we got that one, put that one away, grab another one, do it. It's a pain in the ass. But it's so well worth it, as Rich said. The rewards are so great when they look at you before they go out. Like, again, I use Zoe as an example. I know Stark is really good at this too. They look at you when the door is open. Can I come out? And until you give them the release word, they don't go out. It's a great feeling because now you know your dog can stay safe in the backyard, in the front yard. If I go to Home Depot, if I go here, if I go there, my dog is safe. I do threshold management getting my dog out of a car. They're not allowed to jump out of the car excited. They're not allowed to jump into the car excited. It's all thresholds. Thresholds are where you need to start a new way of doing things. That's the best way I can describe it, guys. And let me know if that makes sense because it's so important. I can't stress to you how important this is. Like I say in episode 2, if you have an hour dedicated to your walk, but it takes you 45 minutes to get out the door the right way, which is the dog walking out like a lady or a gentleman, your walk's 15 minutes. That's how important threshold management is. Anybody who's done it, I know Donna and Rich have done it with me. Anybody who's taken my lessons, been to my seminars, watched my YouTube video, tells me that my dog won't pee or poop in the backyard. I have to walk her. Any advice on that? Wow, that's a new one. I'd almost like to say wait her out. But that's sometimes hard. Have you tried this, walking in your yard with like a 25-foot leash, just get the process of the walk going and see if she goes. The other thing I can tell you to do is, and it may work or may not, this is a well, it actually got me thinking. I'm going to get a headache. The other thing you could try to do is put her on the leash, go to the backyard, go to a spot where you want her to go to the bathroom in the yard, and just stay there and wait her out if you know it's actually time to go to the bathroom. That and wait, and she just won't. This may sound gross, but it may work. Um, when next time she goes out on the walk and she poops, I'm hoping you pick it up, put it in a bag, bring it, and put it in the spot in your yard, and then bring her out there and let her smell it. Maybe it's a scent thing. I don't know. Uh, wow, good question. I actually think I'm stumped a little bit. I would try putting some poop back there and letting her smell it. It's going to be harder with the pee. Um, I don't want to ruin your lawn, but maybe put some ammonia mixture back there in the area where you want them to go because the ammonia has the urine smell to it, type of thing. And spray it where you're going to put the poop. And this way it has the smell of, you know, the urine with the poop, and maybe that'll entice her. She will poop once in a blue moon, but peeing is impossible. Yeah, that's a trick. That's hard. I've heard it the opposite, where dogs won't walk, go on a leash, only go in the yard. The only thing I can think of to do is every single walk I'd bring her into the yard on a leash and wait her out. Ammonia is what you said. Yeah, I think it's ammonia. Ammonia is, they say when a dog pees in a house, don't clean it with ammonia because it kind of has that smell to it, the urine smell. So, I don't think they have like they do in the hunting stores. They have, like deer urine stuff, but I don't think they have that for dogs to entice it. Because some dogs will pee over a smell of another dog. So that's why I'm kind of thinking the ammonia may work. And put it in an area that you don't care if the grass gets ruined because it will get ruined. The only other thing I can think of, and this would be that labor of love type of theory, is, only take her out to the back. Don't take her on a walk. I don't know if you use a crate for your dog, but it may have to for this. It's almost like crate training her. Take her out to the spot in the yard, wait her out 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is. Don't walk. Just stand your ground. Just stay there. So find a shady area. And if she doesn't pee or poop, she comes in, goes back to the crate. 45 minutes later, an hour later, you take her out and do the same routine. It's almost like recrate training a puppy. That would be a suggestion. Again, it's going to have to be a process of elimination. Yeah, you wait. Stark was the same way. And also when they, that's a good idea. When they go outside, high praise, high praise, high praise. When she goes in the yard, high praise and food reward outside where they do it. And like Donna and Rich said, it took about a week for Stark to get it. That's what happened. They go nuts by telling them to sit before opening door. It's a good start. I walked one out on a leash, and she'll sit and wait. After her business, I let her run. My yard is 2 acres, so they love running it. Yeah, but you don't want the yard to represent excitement, Cindy. And one of the things I want people to be aware of, and I love the segue you actually gave me here, Cindy. Just because a dog sits, sitting is an obedience command. It's not a behavior. What we're talking about is behavior, state of mind. The excitement is a behavioral issue. So just because the dog sits means they're obedient. But if they're sitting at the back door or the front door or wherever, but they're, I gotta get out there. Their mind is still somewhere else. You don't want them to go out if their mind is not focused on you in a calm manner. Then you let them out, do your business. You choose to allow them to run, that's fine. But what I would do, and I tell people, is always use that 0 to 10 scale. If you have one dog out there, it's easier, of course, but if you have 2 dogs out there, don't let the excitement get to a certain level. Like I tell people, stop it at a 3 or 4. And you have to be out there with them to do this. So they learn that when you say, hey, enough, that means shut up, enough play, you're done, you're playing too rough. And think about it. We do it with kids when kids are together. Like the kids are playing too rough, we're going to intervene with the dogs. But nothing stops until they're calm. Everything you do with your dog should be based on calm because that's what they're going to learn from. That's how you get, for the people that want the off-leash experience, you can't have an off-leash experience with an excitable dog. You can't. You have to have a calm dog. So all my dogs that I've raised have been off-leash trained because I only reward calm. I never reward excitement. My backyard is not a sense of play for them. When I had a backyard, it was my yard. I'm nice enough to let you use it. If I choose to allow you to play in it, you can. If I don't want you to, you can't. And if you are playing, when I say stop or enough or whatever words I'm going to use, play's over. And it's the same thing with raising kids. We do the same thing. We just don't realize that we do with the kids. The difference is when we're doing it with our kids, we can explain to them why we stopped the play. You guys are playing too rough. Somebody's going to get hurt. Blah, 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 blah. You can't explain that to the dogs. No means no. Why? That no nonsense right there. That no nonsense is no. I said it and I mean it. It's over. I hope all this makes sense. I know it's a lot of work, guys. I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm not. No dog, even my own personal dog, I put a lot of work into my dogs. My dogs aren't good dogs just because they're my dogs. It's the work and the energy that I put into it, and it's the consistency. I said it Tuesday night when I was interviewing Donna and Rich. I work on my Zoe every day. She's 8 years old. There's something I do with her every day to reinforce what she learned 8 years ago. And that's okay. That shows her that I'm that caring pack leader that she needs me to be. So it's all about staying consistent. It's 8 years of me being consistent with Zoe. And Zoe respects that. And she looks at me for guidance. When I take her out to the thing, people are amazed. Dogs are barking at her from the terraces, from on leash, and people are amazed. She doesn't react to it at all. She looks at me like, what should I do? Let's continue our walk. Let's go. But I don't freak out about it. Okay, I'll work on that. I get now they need to not be excited. Thank you. Great advice. Need to work also on getting them back inside. Treats don't really work. Well, again, here's what I'll tell you. If you really, really work on this, and I hope you do, Cindy, I really do, you're taking a leadership role from them. Because right now, if they're bolting out that door and you're just a door opener and they're not paying attention to you, why would I listen to you? You tell me to come in. It's like my brother and sister when I was growing up telling me to come in. I don't have to listen to you. My parents told me to come in. I listened. So by establishing the rules that I talk about, which is rewarding the calm, not going out the door up with excitement, no excitement in the house, whatever you're doing, whatever rules you're setting and you're consistent with the right energy, you become their pack leader. And they listen to pack leaders. They don't listen to pack mates. And most of the dogs that don't come, in my experience, that don't come when their owners call them, because they look at their owners as pack mates. All I'm asking you guys to do, stay calm, stay assertive, use your energy. I'm telling you, energy is the most important form of communication that we have with our dogs. And you will show them that you're their pack leader they need you to be. They will come back when you call them because you'll be a pack leader, not a pack mate. Like I said, when I grew up, my brother and sister could call me until they're blue in their freaking face. I ain't listening. My mom would just say, lay out. I'd be like, okay, time to come in. So, put it into perspective, we can all understand. But it starts someplace. And where does it start? Controlling the thresholds, guys. Control the threshold. If you can control that, you can control the outside world, and you mastered it then. If you can control that backdoor threshold, you mastered that outside, that playground. When you say the bell rings and recess is over, get your butt back to class, that's what you're saying to them. But they have to respect you as the leader of the pack. Like I said, I've had a lot of dogs I've never had dogs run away from me. Why would they? I'm that consistent thing they need in their lives for survival. Why would you leave me? I walk Zoe here at night with no leash on. I don't worry about it. She stays right with me. If she gets too far ahead, I snap my finger. She comes back. But it's a lot of work. And she doesn't. She knows she has to follow my rules. But everything is based on calmness. If I took her outside here, especially at night with all the critters off leash, she'd be chasing everything. She's a hound dog. That's her job. She's not allowed to. So because we walked out the apartment calm, we walked down the stairs calm, we walked out the gate calm. Everything is calm. And she follows me. It's a beautiful thing. At the end, can you tell me how to message you to set up a Zoom meeting? The best thing I can tell you to do is shoot me a text. I'll put my number back up here. Here's my number. Shoot me a text, and I will get back to you once I kind of wrap up my process that I have to do on here. It takes me about a half hour to do what I need to do after I do this. I'll shoot you a text. Shoot me a text with your number. I'll give you a call. We'll get something set up. Best thing I tell you, anybody who wants a Zoom, shoot me a text at this number. Give me a couple of times and dates that are good for you on the Zoom. Give me your email address. I'll set it all up. That's always the best bet. But yeah, please reach out to me. We can definitely help you. Zoom, we get a good 2 hours of me really going into depth with you, not this kind of broken up stuff we do here. It's very much about, it's focused on your issues. So it's a great thing. This is more broad spectrum, of course. But the Zoom has definitely helped people. It's an affordable training. I'm telling you now, I'll tell everybody, it don't matter where the hell you're located. My Zoom sessions are $75. It's an affordable 2 hours for you to get one-on-one with me and you to explain, so I can help you, tell you how to communicate or how you can communicate with your dog better, because that's what it's about. We're not communicating properly. What do you suggest doing if the dog listens 99% of the time but makes a mistake and doesn't listen? Or listen but not at the first command? If I know my dog is what I consider bulletproof, and I'm going to use the term sit. Most dogs understand sit. They sit 100 times out of 100 times. And then the 101st time they don't sit, there's a nope. Extremely firm, assertive, not anger, sit with more assertion. The way to make this work, absolutely, calm. And Richard Donner can attest to it. It helps us in our everyday lives once you master it. Guys, this, what I talk about is who I am. I don't freak out about things. I don't get aggravated that easily. I don't get frustrated that easily. I get more frustrated at myself because I think I should be better than what I am, and that's just normal because I'm human. But by staying calm, you can think better. You can rationalize better. You can deal with that upset person. You can deal with that idiot that cut you off on the road. But if you allow that anger and frustration to get into your lives, watch what the dogs do. Dogs don't fight out of anger. They fight for a reason. Usually it's overexcitement. Humans have anger. Get rid of it. It's useless energy. Frustration. It's a useless energy. Why is my dog doing this? Who gives a crap? Fix it. Don't get frustrated. So your energy is going to be the best thing. So, and it's really important. It's such a better way to live life. It's a better way. And the dogs taught me this because I ain't that damn smart, folks. So with that being said, we're at about 50 minutes here. If there's no other questions, we're going to be starting to wrap this up soon. I really appreciate it. Today was a great live. I really do appreciate it. I love the questions I got. It was a lot of fun for me. I hope it helps you guys. As always, what I ask you to do, this is a free platform I put out there. All I do is ask for any type of payment. What I ask for is please share my information out with your fellow dog lovers around the country and around the world. Share my Facebook page, share my YouTube channel. Let's get the word out there so together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Today we had a lot of people on here, a lot of great questions. I'd like to see those numbers go up to, 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people. I would love to see that. That to me would be the best thing. 99% of the time, if I tell baby to go into the house, bedroom, or whatever she does it, if she doesn't, I generally put a leash on her and make her go where I want her to do. Is there a better way? Yeah, well, no, put the leash on, but she disobeyed you. Think about a child disobeying you. No, you can't go out. They go out. There's going to be a consequence. So that's why I keep telling people all the time, you have to put relevance on that sound, that no or nope or whatever discipline sound you're using. You put some relevance on it. So if she doesn't listen to you and she knows that no, at this point, she'll know that no or nope is a bad word. It's nope, get in the house. But you're going to become more assertive. No anger, no frustration. Assertive. Go to the room, whatever it is. And if that doesn't work, put the leash on her, make the pop, and make it happen. But without the anger and the frustration, because that will cause a problem. Assertion and anger, guys, I know we're this close together. I know it. Keep looking for the light. Stay with the assertive side. Don't let the anger, don't let the darkness of the anger get in the way of the process. Hi, Carol. How are you? And if you don't let the anger in, you'll see this process works. The pop. Don't forget the pop, guys, because the no is the relevant. And that pop makes that no uncomfortable. It's real, real important. And again, the pop is not to hurt or scare the dog. It's just to make punishment uncomfortable. I got grounded as a child. It was uncomfortable. Nobody wanted to be in the freaking house. You know, punishment's designed to be uncomfortable. We don't make our dogs uncomfortable enough so they don't understand that word, that sound, no, nope, hey, is a bad thing because there's no consequence for it. There's no consequence. Why do I have to listen to it? Unfortunately, that's the way the world works. So, again, guys, I really appreciate you guys letting me into your house each and every Saturday morning. I hope today was helpful for you guys. I know it was helpful for me because I love the questions. I hope some of the advice I gave you helps. Let me know. Follow up with me. Let me know how things going. I really would appreciate that. And remember, please share this with your friends and family around the country and around the world. Still working on Lola. I was using the leash when people came over, but now the leash makes her anxious. Okay. So my suggestion is use the leash when people aren't coming over. Don't. A lot of times dogs learn to associate things. Somebody's coming over, I put the leash on. Somebody's coming over, I get the leash on. Somebody's coming over, I get the leash on. And I use muzzle conditioning is that my dog may bite. So before somebody comes over, I put the muzzle on. I put the muzzle on. I put the muzzle on. And the dogs learn that, oh, wait, every time somebody comes in, I get the muzzle. I don't like this thing anymore. So what I would do personally, Carol, is I would put the leash on Lola when nobody's around, just you, and walk around the house with her, sit down on the couch, relax, watch some TV with her on the leash. So we start taking away that anxiousness. Of course, take her for walks. You have her on the leash, might as well take her for a walk. So we're not associating the leash with people coming over. Does that make sense? Because a lot of times we tend to associate it. And then what you can do is once you get her into a routine where, hey, the leash is on and we're not doing anything, nobody's coming over, then you can put the leash on her and ask a friend or a neighbor to come over an hour later once she's on the leash, and then she's not going to associate the two together. I hope that makes sense because it sounds like she's put two and two together saying, I get this leash put on me when somebody comes over. So we need to change that up on her. So let me know if that makes sense. Good question, because I do see that quite often where people tend to use the tools only when this is going to happen. And that's really kind of makes it counterproductive. So what I've been doing is getting her to watch me when I know people are coming and use a few treats that I throw in the opposite direction. I tell people to come in, who come over, to turn their back until she's no, I don't like people turning their backs on dogs. I've seen people get hurt because they don't see the dog coming. What I would do is I would definitely have to do this with a leash and work on this anxiousness. You're rewarding her for being excited still. By giving her the treats when she's excited, even though you're throwing them and you're redirecting her to a different direction, you're teaching her, hey, if I do this, I get this. This is pretty cool. I'm just going to do this. It's the process of going through it. Carol, I don't remember where you're located. That may be something I may have to come over and really help you with, because it's really important that she has to understand that people coming over, if you're allowing them in, she has to be calm. Also, Maggie is not on the leash, and Lola is makes the dog growl at each other. Yeah, because there's too much excitement going on. Hop. Yeah. We're gonna have to arrange something probably when I'm up there. Um, I'll be up there at the end of September, or we can do a Zoom and I can really go over this with you. But what's happening with the dogs growling is too much excitement, and it's in a confined area because it's usually a foyer or something, and it's just too much. You got to get to the process of doing the calm. You got it. Absolutely. I'm gonna be tied up a little bit this afternoon. I think you texted me the other day. I'm sorry. I have some personal issues going on this week, so it's been kind of crazy. Um, I'll get back to you. What time is it? I'll try calling you before 1 o'clock if that works, Carol. Um, yeah, we're gonna have to. We'll come up with something. But guys, a lot of it is setting them up for success, especially when you come to the store, letting people into the homes. Is you got to set them up for success. Use the family members. We'll go over. I'll do a whole video on this thing. I think I'll just set up my camera and we'll do a whole video on how to introduce people into the home and keep the dog calm. But the growling is normal because you got two dogs in a confined area, one on a leash who has no flight mechanism because they're on a leash. Me personally, I don't care if one dog's good, one dog's bad. They're both on leashes. Fair is fair. I'm going to teach them both the same, and it's all going to be based on calm. So, with that being said, guys, I'm at the magic hour mark. We're going to wrap this up. Um, I really, again, appreciate you guys letting me to your home each and every Saturday morning. As always, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. And remember, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys.